It started on a Thursday, one of those dull, gray days where nothing feels quite real. Almost half the people at work were out sick, including my friend John. Flu season, I thought, or maybe people just wanted a long weekend. After work, the guys and I grabbed drinks. That's when one of them mentioned the book. He pulled it out casually like it was nothing. A pitch-black cover small enough to fit in a jacket pocket. On the front, in jagged red ink, "Don't read this." My jaw almost hit the table. "I got the same thing," I said. Turns out, every single person at that table received an identical book. Same size, same cover, same unsettling message. No return address. No stamp. Just delivered. We laughed it off, some kind of prank, maybe a viral marketing stunt. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Why would anyone send something like this to all of us at the exact same time? The next morning, everything changed. My phone buzzed nonstop, texts, notifications, alerts. The national news was broadcasting an emergency message. If you received a small black book in the last 48 hours, do not open it. Do not read it. Do not attempt to destroy it. They called it a national security threat. A phrase you never want to hear. Even stranger, they claimed the books were linked to a growing number of disappearances. My stomach twisted. I checked the drawer where I'd tossed mine. It was still there. Untouched. Good. But I couldn't reach John. He wasn't answering calls, texts, anything. That's when the fear started creeping in. My wife stayed home too. Her workplace had shut down temporarily. So we spent the day watching the news and trying to understand the chaos. That's when we saw the video. A woman sits in her living room, turning the pages of the book. At first, she just looks confused. Then terrified. Her breath catches, her eyes widen, and she stands abruptly like she's about to run. But something makes her sit back down. She keeps reading. The video is sped up, showing her flipping pages faster and faster. Then she reaches the end. The moment her eyes land on the last page, she screams. Not a normal scream. A sharp animalistic shriek full of pure, unnatural terror. And then, she disappears. Instantly. Like she was erased. My wife laughed it off, saying it had to be fake. But I couldn't forget the woman's face. That expression wasn't acting. It was truth. My wife asked if we should just read it and get it over with. I told her absolutely not. I didn't know why. But something deep inside me whispered. Whatever is inside that book is not meant for us. That night the scream returned. But this time, it came from inside my home. I woke up in terror. My wife wasn't beside me. I tore through the house shouting her name. Bathroom. Kitchen. Backyard. Gone. Her car keys were still here. Her phone. Her shoes. Everything except her. And the book. Hers was missing too. Something cold sank into my bones. A week passed. 7 days of empty streets, panicked news reports, unanswered calls from friends and family. Every day more people vanished. The world was unraveling. But all I cared about was finding her. I stopped watching the news. Every headline screamed disaster. No answers. All I had left was the book. It sat in my drawer like a living thing. Silent, patient, waiting. Would reading it kill me? Or would it show me where she went? Would it bring me closer to her? Or end everything? For days I sat in front of my computer, staring at the drawer. Thinking of her smile, her voice. Wondering if she was still alive. Then one night, when the silence became unbearable, I opened the drawer. The book felt heavier than before. As if something inside it had grown. Its cover was ice gold. And the leather felt disturbingly like human skin. My heart slammed inside my chest. But I opened it. The first page. My breath stopped. The text was my own writing. Everything I had posted online since this nightmare began. Every update, every question. Even sentences I had typed only minutes earlier. All of it written in my handwriting. But I had typed those words. I never wrote them by hand. Trembling, I flipped page after page. All my entries were there. Even thoughts I never typed. Private thoughts I had never told anyone. How could the book know? I slammed it shut, hands shaking violently. But I knew I couldn't resist it forever. The more I tried to avoid the book, the more questions filled my mind. If people disappear when they reach the final page, where do they go? What if someone couldn't read? Would the book speak to them? Would it show pictures? Would it whisper? Who wrote these books? How did they appear in thousands of homes simultaneously? Why were they delivered like a message? Not from a person, but from something watching us. Why my wife? Why me? What was waiting on that last page? Days passed. Sleep abandoned me. Hope drained out of me. Finally, I made my choice. I opened the book again. Near the end, I found something new. 3 sentences I never wrote. In my handwriting. 3 sentences that made my skin crawl. You will read the last page. You will understand. And then you will follow her. My blood turned to ice. I turned to the final page. The room went silent. Time seemed to stop. On the last page, there were only 2 words. Words that felt older than humanity. Welcome back. And then, I finally understood why people disappeared. They weren't being taken. They were being claimed. Claimed by the thing that wrote the book. The thing that watches. The thing that knows our thoughts. The thing that waits for us at the end. My vision blurred. The room turned white. And I felt myself being pulled. Not violently, but gently. Like falling asleep in the wrong direction. I knew where I was going. I knew who I would find there. And I knew. You should never read this.